Welcome, my friend. Welcome back to this quiet space. You do not need to perform here. You do not need to smile here. Tonight, we are not running from being alone. If your apartment feels too quiet at 8 in the evening, this video is for you. If you reach for your phone every time the silence gets heavy, this video is for you. None of that is the truth. The truth is gentler. The truth is kinder. Here is what nobody told you. Alone is a fact. Lonely is a feeling. You can be alone in a quiet room and feel completely at peace. The room is not the problem. The feeling is the problem. We are not going to teach you how to escape being alone. You do not need to fill every empty hour with noise. You do not need to be afraid of your own company, the way you would learn the face of a friend you forgot a long time ago. Tonight, I am going to give you 9 steps. Not steps that push you to find friends fast. Not steps that tell you to download another app. The kind that build a small, warm home inside your chest. And while we walk through these 9 steps together, you will also be improving your English. Simple words, clean rhythm, real grammar. That is the promise of this channel. If this is your first time here, my friend, welcome. We sit. We breathe. We learn. Not because I need it, but because every time you subscribe, one more person sitting in a too quiet room. They are simply alone, and they have not yet learned how to be home inside themselves. Before we begin, do something small. Place one hand on your chest. You are still here. You are still breathing. Tonight, that quiet heartbeat under your hand is going to be enough company. So take one more breath, a slow one. Hold it. Let it go. Let the noise of the world fade behind you. Tonight, the silence is not your enemy. And the first person we have to meet, my friend, is the one you have been avoiding the longest. Step 1. Meet yourself like a long-lost guest. You must finally meet yourself. Not the version who performs for the world, the real you. The one underneath. Most people are lonely because they have never met the person they live with. They know what their friends like. They know what their boss expects. But ask them, what do you actually love? What makes you feel safe? Here is the truth most people never accept. You cannot feel at home in a room with someone you have never really met. Loneliness is not always the absence of people you are missing from your own life. Imagine a small wooden cabin in a quiet forest, a thin layer of cold in every corner. Nobody has lit a fire. From the outside, the cabin looks abandoned, but inside, the cabin is still there. It has only been waiting for someone to come back. Now imagine you walk up to that cabin in the late afternoon. You do not shout. You do not judge the dust. You sit in one chair. You say softly, "Hello, I am here." And the cabin, somehow, feels warmer already. You are that cabin, my friend. And step 1 is not finding a guest. There was a man named Elias. For 30 years he lived alone in a loud city, but he did not know himself. Every evening he came home. One winter, his internet broke for 3 days. On the 3rd night, he sat at his small kitchen table with a cup of tea. He sat with himself. And to his surprise, he did not hate it. He noticed a song humming somewhere inside him that he had not heard since he was a boy. He cried, but it was a soft kind of crying. After that night, he kept the laptop closed one evening a week. Slowly, he stopped feeling lonely, even though nothing in his apartment had changed. So today, my friend, your first step is this. Just you and the room. Place your hand on your chest, and in your mind or out loud, say one sentence. Then ask yourself one gentle question. Do not answer the way you would answer a stranger. Be kind. Be slow. Be honest. A song you used to love. A food that used to comfort you. A small dream you tucked away. You are not solving your whole life tonight. Loneliness shrinks the moment you stop being a stranger to yourself. So from today, say this. I am not alone in this room. That is step 1. Meet yourself like a long-lost guest. Step 2. Learn the language of silence. Not because silence is dangerous. When the music stops, when the phone goes dark, when the room finally goes quiet, so we run, we scroll, we turn on a podcast we are not even listening to. But silence is not your enemy, my friend. And until you learn it, every quiet moment will feel like loneliness. There is a kind of person who can sit in a quiet room and feel completely full. The room is identical. The silence is identical. Here is the truth most people never accept. Imagine a small garden at sunrise. At first, the garden seems silent, empty, almost lonely. You hear a bird in the far tree. You hear a leaf land on the path. The garden was never silent. It was only quieter than your noise. Now imagine your own evening as that garden. But if you sit, if you breathe, if you do not reach for the phone, you hear a thought you have been ignoring. You hear a small wish. The silence is not empty. It is full of you. There was a woman named Naomi. She could not be alone for 10 minutes without putting on a show. She told her sister, "If it goes quiet, I start crying for no reason." So Naomi tried something small. The first night, she cried. The second night, she cried less. She just sat. She heard the fridge hum. She heard her own slow breath. 5 minutes became 10. 10 became 20. She did not become less alone. She became less afraid of being alone. The silence had stopped being empty. It had started being hers. So today, my friend, your second step is this. Set a quiet timer. Turn off every screen, every speaker, every notification. Do not try to meditate. Do not try to be holy. Listen to the small sounds inside the quiet. If a feeling rises, do not chase it away. Greet it. I am not running tonight. Then, when the timer ends, write one sentence. Finish that sentence with whatever came up. Maybe it is a small ache. Maybe it is a soft joy. Whatever it is, name it. Do this every night for a week. 5 minutes, then 10, then 20, and starts feeling like a friend who has been patient with you for years. So from today, say this. Silence is not my enemy. That is step 2. Learn the language of silence. Step 3. Build small rituals that hold the day. There are usually 1 or 2 hours of the day that feel the heaviest. The hour around 8 in the evening, when other people seem to be eating dinner with families. These hours are not random. They are pressure points. This is why people who live alone and feel deeply at peace almost always have one thing in common. Small, soft, repeated actions that hold the difficult hours. The kind that say, I have a place to go inside my own day. Here is the truth most people never accept. And if you can build a ritual for those moments. Imagine an old lighthouse keeper on a small island. From the outside, his life looks like the loneliest life on earth. Why? Because every day has a shape. At noon, he eats the same simple soup at the same wooden table. At night, he checks the lamp. The island does not change. The waves do not change. He is alone, but he is not adrift. You are that keeper, my friend, on the small island of your own evening. But if you have a few simple rituals, you will not drift. There was a man named Hugo. He lived alone in a small flat after his divorce. That was when his old life used to start. Dinner, the kids, the TV, the voices. Every night at 7, his chest tightened. So one day, a friend told him, "Stop trying to fix the loneliness." Hugo was confused, but he tried. At exactly 7, he began making 1 cup of tea. He played 1 quiet song while the water boiled. That was the whole ritual. 20 minutes, nothing more. By the 3rd week, 7 o'clock had stopped being a wound. He told his friend, "I am still alone at 7. That small ritual became the rope that held his evenings together. So today, my friend, your 3rd step is this. Which hour of the day or week is the heaviest for you? Maybe it is the moment you walk in the door after work. Name it. Keep it simple. Keep it warm. Keep it repeatable. Maybe a slow walk around the same block while one specific song plays. The activity does not matter. What matters is that it is the same. Do this ritual every day at the same time for 2 weeks. The ritual is not for the easy days. Slowly, the hour that used to scare you becomes the hour you almost look forward to. And the shape held you. That is what rituals do. So from today, say this: my hard hours will not drown me. That is step 3. Build small rituals that hold the day. Step 4. Become your own first friend. Listen, just for one moment. The voice when you look in the mirror in the morning. For most lonely people, that voice is harsh, cold, disappointed. That voice is not your friend, and started speaking like it owned the place. Here is something gentle and true. You can be in a room full of people, but if the voice inside your head is cruel, the first friend you need is not somewhere out in the world. And right now, that friend has been treating you like an enemy. Here is the truth most people never accept. Because if your own voice is soft, even an empty room sounds like home. Imagine a still mountain lake at dawn. If you lean over the edge and look in, you see your face clearly. The lake does not laugh at you. The lake does not say, "You look tired today." The lake only reflects you back, gently, exactly as you are. You feel met. You feel less alone. Now imagine your own inner voice could become that lake, reflecting you back without cruelty. Your whole inner world would change. The same life, exactly as it is, would feel held. There was a woman named Aria. She lived alone in a small apartment after a long, painful breakup. You are still alone. Of course you are. Look at you. One day, her therapist asked, "Aria, would you say those words to your best friend?" The therapist said softly, "Then why do you speak that way?" Aria went home and cried, but it was a clean kind of crying. "Welcome home, Aria. You worked hard today." But she did it again the next day, and the next. "I am still alone in this apartment. I just do not feel lonely in it anymore." Aria did not become happy because someone moved in. So today, my friend, your 4th step is this. Without changing it, notice how you speak to yourself when you make a mistake. Write down 3 of those harsh sentences. Look at them on paper. If the answer is no, my friend, you have just met the cruel stranger living in your head. Each time the harsh voice speaks, answer it with the voice of a kind friend. It is okay. You are doing your best. You are allowed to be tired. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love, especially in the difficult moments. So from today, say this: I am my own first friend. That is step 4. Become your own first friend. Step 5. Stop using people as escape doors. Many lonely people do not actually want connection. They reach for a person the way someone reaches for a drink, or a cigarette, or a screen. Here is the painful part. So the moment you are alone again, the panic comes back, even louder than before. If you only call someone when you cannot stand yourself, you are not building friendship, and dependency feels like loneliness, even when the room is full. Real connection is different. You do not run to them. You walk to them. You simply enjoy them in addition to your evening. Here is the truth most people never accept. You become less lonely the moment people become your additional joy. Imagine a tall, revolving door at the front of a busy hotel. Nobody is staying anywhere. Nobody is settling. You text someone the second you feel empty. You call, you message, you swipe, you arrange, and yet nothing fills you, because you are not actually meeting anyone. Now imagine instead a quiet, small house with one steady door. People come in and sit. They share tea. They share a real evening. Because the warmth came from inside, not from them. A steady inner home where people are welcome guests, not emergency exits. There was a man named Daniel. He had over 2,000 contacts on his phone. Every time he felt the slightest discomfort, he opened his phone. Sometimes someone answered. Sometimes nobody did. One evening, after a long week, he sat down and noticed something. He just wanted to escape his own quiet apartment. For 2 weeks, he made a rule. If the loneliness rose, he would sit with it for 20 minutes first. Only after that could he reach out, and only if he genuinely wanted to share, not escape. By day 10, the loneliness had quieted, slower, warmer, real. His friend said, "I felt that. This is the first conversation in years." Daniel learned that real friendship grows in soil. So today, my friend, your 5th step is this. Notice your patterns. Place your hand on your chest. Am I reaching out to share, or am I reaching out to escape? Sit with the feeling for 10 minutes first. Breathe through it. Then, if you still want to reach out from a calmer place. This is not about becoming a hermit. So that when you are with people, you are actually with them. So from today, say this. I will not use people as escape doors. That is step 5. Stop using people as escape doors. Step 6. Collect the quiet joys nobody sees. No wedding, no party, no big news to share. But the truth is, every life is full of tiny joys. They do not stop. They do not collect. They do not notice. Even though the day was actually full of small light, you will never feel less lonely if you only count the loud joys. Between them, life is made of mornings, sunlight, footsteps. If you cannot find joy in those, you will keep waiting for happiness. Here is the truth most people never accept. Because joy that is collected is joy that compounds, even when no one else is in the room. Imagine a small glass jar on a kitchen windowsill. The pebbles are tiny. Some are pale grey, some are soft white. On their own, each pebble is almost nothing, just a stone. The light comes through the glass. The pebbles glow. You see one shining jar of attention. Your days are made of pebbles, my friend. The first sip of warm water in the morning, a song that came on at exactly the right second. None of these will fill a social media post. There was a woman named Lena. She lived alone after her grown children moved away. One spring, her granddaughter gave her a tiny notebook and said, Lena thought it was silly, but she loved her granddaughter, so she tried. Day 2. The warm shower, the orange in my fruit bowl. She did this for 100 days. Not because she was sad. She told her granddaughter, I was not lonely. Her apartment did not change. Her schedule did not change. She simply began to see the jar of pebbles she had been placing without knowing it. So today, my friend, your 6th step is this. Every single day, no matter how heavy the day was, tiny is fine. Especially tiny. A stranger who held a door, the shape of a tree you walked past. Do not write what you should be grateful for. Be specific. Specific is the secret. Do this for 30 days without missing. First, your eyes will change. Second, your evenings will feel less empty. So from today, say this. My life is not empty. That is step 6. Collect the quiet joys nobody sees. Step 7. Write your own evenings on purpose. Work ends. The world goes home to families, and you stand in your own kitchen, not knowing what to do with the hours that are now yours. You scroll. You eat without tasting. You go to bed feeling like the day was wasted, and you do not know why. You did not write the evening. The evening wrote you. The fix is also simple. You must start writing your own evenings. This does not mean filling every minute with productivity, choosing it, designing it. Here is the truth most people never accept. The chosen evening, even alone, feels like a quiet kind of love. Imagine a blank page at dusk. If you do nothing, the page stays blank. But now imagine you pick up a pen, and softly, slowly, you begin to write. 8 o'clock, one good book. 9 o'clock, warm shower. 10 o'clock, soft sleep. But as you write, the page changes, and the night, instead of being a long, empty corridor, becomes a path. You are the author of your own dusk, my friend. The evening is a page you have not yet written. There was a man named Adrian. After his retirement, his evenings collapsed. The hours from 5 to 10 became one long grey fog. With the same channel playing, having eaten nothing real, having said nothing aloud, because he had a beautiful apartment and a small pension, and his health. He almost said no. But that night he tried. 5:30, walk to the small park. 7:30, listen to one record I love. It was nothing fancy, but for the first time in years, he followed it. The next night, he followed it again. Adrian smiled and said, "They are mine again." The fog had lifted, not because someone arrived. So today, my friend, your 7th step is this. Write down 3 or 4 soft things you will do this evening. Make them gentle. Make them yours. 20 minutes of a book you love. A warm shower. That is enough. The list does not have to be impressive. Then follow the list, without your phone running the show. Just walk slowly through your own written evening, like a kind guest in your own home. When you chose it, instead of letting it choose you. Do this every night for 2 weeks. What matters is the act of writing it. So from today, say this. My evenings are mine. That is step 7. Write your own evenings on purpose. Step 8. Love your own company on purpose. The shame of being seen alone. Many people would rather stay home and feel lonely than go out and be seen alone. But this is a lie. A very old, very loud lie. The world only made you afraid of looking alone, and so you stay inside. You shrink your life. Today that ends. Not just inside your apartment, out in the world, with the quiet pride of a person who has finally become friends with themselves. Here is the truth most people never accept. The day your own company becomes something you are proud of. Imagine a candlelit table for one in a small, warm restaurant. One person sitting there, calm, unhurried. They are not waiting for anyone. They are not anxious. They are simply having a beautiful evening with themselves. Not because the person is special, but because the person is whole. You can be that table, my friend. Calm, whole, quietly content, and more importantly, you respect yourself. There was a woman named Mariam. For years, she refused to do anything in public alone. She was waiting for a partner, waiting for a friend. One Sunday, after another wasted day inside, she got angry. She put on a soft sweater, walked to a small cafe 2 streets away. She brought one book. She sat by the window. The first 10 minutes, she wanted to leave. By the end of the hour, she was smiling at the page. She felt taller. Not arrogant, just upright. The next Sunday, she did it again. Then a small museum, alone. Within a few months, she said to her sister, "I am not waiting anymore. I am living." And the loneliness softened until she barely recognized it. So today, my friend, your 8th step is this, not as a punishment, as a date with yourself. Maybe a small bookstore, maybe one museum room. Bring one item you love, a book, a notebook. Go. Stay for 1 hour. I belong in this world, even when I arrive alone. You are not waiting for anyone. Do this once a week, every week, gently. And one day, you will catch your own reflection in a cafe window, sitting alone, smiling. So from today, say this. I love my own company. That is step 8. Love your own company on purpose. Step 9. Let solitude become quiet company. The thing you used to fear most will quietly become the thing you love most. Solitude will start feeling like company. Company that holds your hand from the inside. You are with yourself, and that is finally enough. This is the deepest secret of people who live alone and feel deeply at peace. They no longer experience aloneness as absence, the presence of themselves, the presence of the room. You can get there, my friend. Not by escaping your aloneness. The same evening that used to feel like a wound will, with practice, the same room that used to echo with emptiness, will begin to hum with quiet life. Here is the truth most people never accept. Solitude is the deepest kind of company. Imagine a quiet river, running gently beside a long path. The river is just there, beside you, moving softly in the same direction. You only need to walk and know that something is moving with you. The river is enough. The breathing trees are enough. There is no shouting in your chest. There is no panic in the air. That river is your solitude, my friend. You do not have to fight it. You do not have to fill it. And when you do, you discover something extraordinary. There was a man named Ezra. He used to call solitude the empty hours. He used to see his alone life as a punishment for some failure he could not name. He met himself like a guest. He learned the language of silence. He stopped using people as escape doors. He collected pebbles of joy. And one Sunday morning, 2 years after he started, and realized something he could barely believe. He laughed softly. He cried softly. Now I call it Sunday morning with myself. Ezra did not become a different man. The room had not changed. The man had. So today, my friend, your 9th step is this. They are there, even if they are small. The 5 minutes after a warm shower. Catch those moments. Stop. Place your hand on your chest. I want more moments like this. Each time you mark a peaceful moment of solitude, that being alone can even be sweet. They link together. And one day, your whole alone life, you will still see friends. You will still love people, but you will no longer need other people to save you from your own evenings. Always accompanied, always whole. So from today, say this. My solitude is not my punishment. That is step 9. Let solitude become quiet company. My friend, take one slow breath with me. Step 1. You met yourself like a long-lost guest. Step 2. You learned the language of silence. Step 3. You built small rituals to hold your hardest hours. Step 4. You became your own first friend. Step 5. You stopped using people as escape doors. Step 6. You began to collect the quiet joys nobody sees. Step 7. You wrote your own evenings on purpose. Step 8. You stepped into the world alone, with your head up. And step 9. You let solitude become quiet company. 9 steps. The world will not. And one quiet morning, sooner than you think, you will sit in your own room. You will feel safe. You will feel held. You will feel home. Place your hand on your chest with me one more time. And say these words with me softly. I am alone, and I am not ashamed. I am alone, and I am at home with myself. Say it again. I am alone, and I am whole. That is loneliness being replaced. The simple, steady company of your own self. If anything I said tonight reached the soft part of you, in the comments below, leave the word calm. Just one word. It tells me you are here. It tells me you sat through this with an open heart. That word will travel. And if this video gave you even one breath of peace, please subscribe. Because every time you subscribe, this voice goes out to one more person. One more person who needs to hear that being alone is not the same as being broken. You are not unloved because the room is quiet. That is a sacred kind of work. So tonight, before you sleep, light one small light if you can. And as you turn it on, whisper, I am here. Then sleep softly. The work is already happening. And remember, you are never truly alone. I love you, my friend.